It's easy to do. The things you wanted, I bought them for you. Graceless lady, you know who I am. You know I can't let you slide through my hands. Wild horses couldn't drag me away. Wild, wild horses couldn't drag me away. I watched you suffer a dull aching pain. Now you decided to show me the same. No sweeping exits, oh, off stage lines could make me feel bitter or treat you unkind. Wild horses couldn't drag me away. Wild, wild horses couldn't drag me away. I know I've dreamed you a sin and a lie. I have my freedom, but I don't have much time. Faith has been broken, tears must be cried. Let's do some living after we die. Wild horses couldn't drag me away. Wild There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments. With lovers and friends, I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. And I know I'll never ever lose affection for people and things that went before. And I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I've loved you more. In my life, I've loved you more. Who are on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's hell did slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picked, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh. And know they love you.
Oh, there was a lot of stress about money, what I recall. A lot of stress. In fact, when I did get a paper route for about 2 or 3 months, I couldn't keep up with it because I was really affecting my work at school. Pressure, at 10 years old, 11 years old. I know they didn't mean to pressure me or any of us kids, but I felt pressure, That's why I went to work. And, instead of getting a bunch of guff about, you want to buy that to wear to school, I wanted to be dressing cool with the Converse and everything, to be cool like everybody else,
Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh. And know they love you.
definitely on top of the social justice scene. You know, he certainly helped out with the farm workers movement, just like you did and I did. But I don't know if you know, but whether he talked to you about it, but he was drafted into the armed services, and he didn't go. He actually went through the induction. He went to the induction center and the whole thing, and he was expected to show up, and he just didn't go. He would have been sent to Vietnam. And he was preparing to be a conscientious objector. I knew that. And so was I, because I had the same kind of concerns that, you know, if I get drafted, what am I going to do? I really don't believe in the war. At that time, there were protests even in the high schools, in our high school. We had a protest march against the war. So there was a lot of that during that time period. But George actually did get caught up in it, and he just didn't go. So that what that meant was that he was kind of looking over his shoulder for years. But yeah, he was quite concerned that he had an FBI file and that he was, you know, going to be picked up and sent to prison at any time. So, you know, that takes a level of bravery. You know, go ahead and do that. So, you know, he was brave in his own way.
Yeah, I remember the time we were coming back from Juarez to El Paso, and we had to go through the border patrol thing. That, you know, they check to see if you're a citizen. And anyway, I remember our father had no problem. Us kids, we had no problem because we're kids. But my mother couldn't find her passport, and just really panicking, looking, and then she started to cry, and then the guy opened the door like he was gonna pull her out of the car, you know, and finally she did find the passport at the last moment. It was like, oh my God. It was very upsetting for me even. It still upsets me.
Drive me to a door, a ride in a style. Then I see emerald in her eye, love flow on beam of light. Love is tingling, fantastic. It's like magic, oh baby. Come out and play. Baby, sustained by their love, beyond the clouds above. Love is tingling, fantastic. It's like magic, oh baby. Come out and play. Hey baby, every day. I held her hand, we walked on the sand, on the seaside drive. Love
on the seaside drive. Love came alive.
Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And now, la 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 la
Well, I do want to share what I remember from when he got married to Greta on that day. I think that was probably one of the most happiest days of his life, other than when Julian was born, right? He, for whatever reason, decided to ride BART from Concord to San Francisco because they got married at Stern Grove in San Francisco, but he forgot his tuxedo. And it wasn't until he was already there in San Francisco that he realized that he didn't have his tuxedo with him. And so he rode all the way back to Martinez to get it. And like, well, what are we going to do now? Everybody's getting hungry and all there is this cake and George isn't here yet. So I think after they did their wedding vows, whatever the mall is by Stern Grove, and they bought a bunch of pizzas and brought them over so people could eat because everybody was starving by that time. But I thought that was kind of a funny story. That
so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And I'll light the fire while you place the flowers in the vase that you bought today.
When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand, and nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night.
They knew each other from high school, I believe. They met in 1966, and they would eat lunch together. And yeah, I think they became best friends on the first day of school. Yeah. Well, they dated on and off in multiple periods of their life, you know, but they would always kind of find their way back to one another. I think they ran into each other at the grocery store, and that is kind of what prompted Shirley eventually kind of like entering his life again and living there. Their birthdays are like 3 days apart, born in the same year. You know, they have a lot of things in common in terms of just their core personalities and the way they approach the world. Tenacity, directness, diligence, and just being caring and just wanting what's right, you know, justice.
Soon I'll be knocking upon your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Oh babe, don't you know about winter, spring, summer, or fall? Hey, now all you've got to do is call. Lord, I'll be there, yes I will. No, you've got a friend. You've got a friend, yeah. Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? Oh yeah, yeah, you've got a friend.
Come a little bit closer, hear what I have to say. Just like children sleeping, we could dream this night away. There's a full moon rising, let's go dancing in the light.
So even though there was no obvious, example of him being spiritual, religious, I mean, he was not a religious person in the usual sense. But I got the strong impression there was very much a spiritual quality to him that he definitely had in him. It was a very important part, but he just kept it very private. But I could always tell it was there. A lot of it shows now in Julian in terms of who he is as a person and the kind of personality type that he has. He's very, very caring, but he's a very thoughtful, very kind person. And that's exactly what George was. Very thoughtful, very kind, very loving. Just didn't share that with a lot of people, but it truly was there. And that comes through in Julian, And so George had a lot to do with that. He kind of, I don't know how he did it, was able to imbue those qualities in Julian that I think George really valued. And he was a great dad, from what I could tell. Julian turned out great, precisely because George was such a big influence on him.
A very loving parent, one who just wanted the best for his son. What I saw at the hospital this past year in his attention to George, you could tell that George did a really good job in raising him. He's got a heart of gold.
'Cause I'm still